Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a pretty highly requested video, which I'm kind of shocked that it's so highly requested because I haven't changed my brows in like months. But all of a sudden I feel like I'm getting the question of how do you do your eyebrows? Can we get an eyebrow tutorial? So that is what we're going to be doing today. Before we get into this video, make sure that you subscribe down below if you're not already to become part of the family. Would love to have you. I'm going to be starting with my favorite eyebrow pencil, and it's from Causemetics. It is the Infinity Waterproof Eyebrow Liner in the shade Serena. It's a dark brown color, and I definitely recommend if you have dark brown hair to use a dark brown eyebrow pencil. This is my favorite brow pencil. So the formula is pretty nice to wear. It's a really creamy eyebrow product, but it's not too creamy where it makes your eyebrows like super muddy. If you guys have experienced that, some eyebrow pencils are way too like goopy. This one is perfect. And I also really love eyebrow pencils that have a pencil like tip. It gives a really precise line. A lot of times, especially when I've just groomed my eyebrows, I can go in just with this eyebrow pencil and I don't have to clean it up with concealer. A lot of times I still will because it gives like a super finished look, but if I'm in a rush, I can just apply this. So there are multiple different types of eyebrow pencils. That's the reason why I kind of wanted to point out why I like this tip versus others. So getting started with actually the application of the brow product, I like to start by brushing the front of my brow hairs up and then the rest of them to the side, because that's exactly how I want them to end up, like when I'm completely done with filling them in. I'm not a professional when it comes to shaping my brows, so I pretty much always make them uneven. What I like to do with the eyebrow pencil is make them even, but if you get them professionally done, they're already even, you would just fill them in the same shape that they already are in. I like to have a bigger mirror in front of me, what it looks like far away, to make sure that both of them are even, as well as a small mirror from like a compact see up close. On the precision, I like to go in with this spot right here. I don't start all the way to the front. I always start right here first and create a line at the base of my eyebrow. So you can see that my eyebrow naturally stops right here, but I want my eyebrow to be a little bit longer because it just frames my face better, as well as this eyebrow is a touch longer than this eyebrow. So I'm really mirroring them as well as creating a new shape. So once I get this portion done, then I go back towards the front, and with a lighter hand I create the bottom portion of the front part of my brow. So if you can see, my eyebrow hairs stop right here in the front, but the line of the front of my brow touch lower than where it stops, and that's because that is just the shape that I like for my brows. It frames my face a whole lot better than how it is naturally, so I like to make that a little bit thicker going that way. So then I do the exact same thing on the top portion of my brow. So I start in that same portion, maybe a fourth of the way in on the front of my brow, and I create that shape going back towards the back of my brow. The way that I just created that line is exactly how my brows grow naturally, but that's not how I like my shape of my brows. I like to extend the arch further back because it gives my brows, of course, like a better shape. So everything is giving my brows a better shape, a shape that I prefer, you know. Go straight down from that new arch to create the tail end of my brow, and then I connect those. So once I get that shape, I just kind of work to make everything like really sharp, like the lines sharp. Then I go back in and I just start filling in the center of the brow. And this is like with really short, quick motions. So I'm not like drawing heavily. I'm doing short, quick motions to fill in the center of the brow. Then I go back into the front of the brow and create the top portion of the front. And again, this is just with a light hand. And the reason why I do like the front fourth of the brow last is because when I first start, my hand is a lot heavier. It's just like how it naturally is when you first start with your makeup. It's like whatever you first lay down with is the heaviest part. So I like to avoid making the front part of my brow too heavy by starting with the tail tail end of my brow and then going in with filling in the front. It's much easier and it's a lot more foolproof. And then once I have filled in that front portion, I go in also with a light hand. I start to create really small lines to mimic the hairs of like brow hairs in the front. Going to make the brows look fuller in the front because like I told you guys, my brow doesn't go all the way down to the new line that I created. So I'm creating appearance that there is brow hairs there. So once that is done, then I just kind of go in and fill in any sparse areas with the brow product and boom, it's filled in. This brow product pretty much makes a super sharp brow without even having to clean up with concealer. But I'm gonna do the full routine so you guys know what I do on a regular basis, because not every time do my brows come out perfect. So for the cleaning up parts of the brows, I love the NARS Soft Matte Complete Concealer. I've been using this concealer I know for at least a year and I'm still not out of this concealer because I only use this for my brows. It's kind of expensive, but it's really, I would say, like kind of an investment because it lasts for so long. I used the shade Biscuit because I wanted something that wasn't too bright. It was just a little bit lighter, almost like the same color as the lighter portions of my skin, so that it mirrors how it will look if you just got your brows done. Now, the best brush ever for cleaning up brows that I've used so many brushes. It's the Lash Fan Brush from Sigma. It fits literally right under the arch area underneath the brow. I feel like they should change the name of this brush to the Eyebrow Cleanup brush or something like that. So what I like to do is I go in with a little bit of product into the concealer. I don't load up my brush because less is definitely more. You can always add. I like to go in and I start at the arch of my brow and make small motions, kind of the same way that I do when it comes to filling in my brow, so that I don't mess up the brow too quickly. And then in the same concept of how I feel like when you first start, it's the heaviest, but when you first start, it's the most product on the brush. So I like to do that on the arch portion because that's the main portion that we kind of want to clean up. Because of that, there's a lot less product, so I like to do the front portion last. And then I go in with the brush and very carefully at the base of where we applied that concealer, kind of just go from there and drag it down to start the blending. I forgot one part. I forgot to use the brush on the end. So I do like to kind of brush the product in, and this is just gonna help blend it. It's almost like when you're going in with eyeshadow, you apply the eyeshadow and then you blend it out. It's the same thing when it comes to brows. And sometimes when I blend it, I kind of blend away the product a little bit, so I like to go back in. It's like a back and forth motion, same way you would do for blending eyeshadow. So after I apply the products, I'll go in with the Dose of Color shader brush. Now again, in this situation, much like the Lash Fan brush, I'm not using this for what it should be used for. Blend that concealer in with this brush. It gives such a flawless finish of a blend. Sometimes when I make too harsh of a line at the front base of my brow, I will go in and kind of just blend closely to that, which happened today. So I kind of blended that away just a little bit. And yeah, so that's that. Then the very last thing that I do, sometimes I forget to do this part, but when I remember, I'm so happy that I remember, and that is brow gel. I finally found the perfect brow gel, and this is the COVERGIRL Easy Breezy Brow, and it's in the shade Clear. So I don't really like brow gels that have color in it because it just really easy to mess that up, because sometimes the brow gel with color can have too much color on one portion of the brush and it just makes like a little glob in your brow, and then you end up with like this one dark spot. It's just too much work. I really like clear brow gels, but a lot of clear brow gels make like this shiny look on the brows, and my brows do look shiny right now. These lights that are like literally reflecting off of any moisture spot on my face, but in regular lighting in a regular day, my brows would be matte. That is like one of my pet peeves for me personally on my makeup. I hate when my eyebrows are shiny, but this one from COVERGIRL eyebrow does not do that, and it holds my brows in place, which I don't really have a whole lot of brow hairs. As you can see, they're pretty light and thin, I would say. It's not like I'm trying to keep my brow hairs from coming outside of the brow line that I created. They don't really move outside of that. The brow gel makes it to where the brow hairs that I do have are more noticeable, so that it gives the appearance that all of what I drew in is my brow, and it's like thicker, and it has a really small little brush on it, which is really good for the application on the brows. So what I like to do is the same way that we started with brushing the front of the brow hairs up and the rest of the brow hairs over, is pretty much the exact same way that we're going to apply the brow gel, with maybe like a small tweak in the front, and brush my hairs up. Your best to only hit the brow hairs and not so much the brow product that we applied. Then this is the small tweak to where it's kind of different. Kind of brush my brow hairs up that I do have, and this is gonna kind of thicken them. And then I go in with the tip of the brow gel, flatten out the brow hairs that came above the line for my brows, and that's going to like really make it seem as though my brows are this thick naturally. And then there we have it, you guys. The brow gel is still drying, but that is how I do my brows. It's a big difference from before and after. So guys, this is the end of this eyebrow tutorial. I just finished the rest of my makeup. I do have a tutorial similar to this look if you're looking for some entertainment during these unsettling and unsure times. I will link it in the corner of this video. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure that you subscribe down below, as well as thumbs up this video if you enjoyed it, and I promise I'll see you guys next time. Bye guys.